This is Margaret Lee, Special People and Places. I am in Tuscumbia today at the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. The man that started the music. This is Dixie Griffin at the Alabama Music.
Well, I manage the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, and it's such a great, fun job. We get to meet visitors from all over the world and promote Alabama's great music heritage.
Oh, it's such a great heritage.
It really is.
And something exciting is going on here today.
It really is. Everybody, we are celebrating Rick Hall's new book, The Man from MuscleShoals, and you know, the documentary and his book has just brought a new interest in our music of Alabama and this part of the state. So we're very happy and very proud.
We're so happy for him, and it's much deserved, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
This man deserves all the recognition he can get.
Exactly.
Because, like Judy Hood told me, she said, this man started the magic.
He did start the magic. And what's wonderful, the magic's going on and on. You know, it hasn't stopped. So it's great.
Oh, I know you enjoy being here.
I do.
And what's the information here at the Music Hall of Fame, Dixie?
The phone number here is 256-381-4417. And we have events going on. You know, people can come and tour the museum, but even with that, we have special events going on all the time. We have started a third Tuesday. It's called Free Brown Bag Lunch, when people can bring their brown bag lunches and come and hear musicians play from 11 to 1. And these musicians will interact with the audience, play their songs, and tell their stories. So we have that going on. We do one fundraiser a month. We'll have a cash bar, and the people get to hear the music. We'll have a meet and greet and a tour of the museum, and it's going to be a wonderful time. So 7 o'clock, and they can call 256-381-4417 for tickets and reservations.
And what are the hours of operation here at the museum for just touring?
Yeah. Okay, our hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 5. Yeah, and we want to invite everybody in to see all the wonderful exhibits and remind everybody that everybody in the museum is from the great state of Alabama.
We have just had our book signed by the man himself, Mr. Rick Hall, and here's somebody else who's very happy to meet Mr. Rick Hall. Did you know him before?
Actually,
what is your name?
I'm Christy Gibson, and I live in Ankeny, Iowa.
Iowa!
But I grew up in the Quad Cities, Muscle Shoals, and as a teenager, we all wanted to go see Rick Hall. That was the big thing, is to pass Fame Studios, and we would never go in. We were afraid because these were big people, you know.
That's true. The biggest came from all over the world.
Absolutely. And so we were, at that time in my life, I was afraid. I mean, at my age now, I would walk right on in, you know.
But still a little bit intimidated in that time.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And so I don't ever recall a time, as I told Rick a while ago, when Fame Studios was not ever there. As long as I can remember, that building has remained. And I think that's a great legacy for him. I really do. He's
an icon.
Absolutely. He started from a simple life, and he
overcome so much tragedy. I'm just getting to know about him.
Yes. And my mother, she loved the documentary, and I took it upon myself to bring her actually to this book signing because she has always wanted to meet him.
Are you waiting in line?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her in your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Hey, Jude, don't be afraid. You are made
were in town?
Yes, I came home and I just happened to find this through a friend, and I said, okay, we gotta do this.
An
And so-
opportunity you can't pass up.
Absolutely, because he's, you know, I don't know, I'm an oldie but goodie person, I suppose, you know? And so, but I am delighted that you were here to do this show.
Oh, we met Judy Hood, one of the Swampers' wives, David Hood's wife, last October.
Yeah.
Well, she just thinks Rick Hall hung the moon, but she said he started the magic.
Oh, yes. It took his ear.
Yes.
He knew what
Yes.
to do. You know, not all people can mix the music the way he could. And that's why all the people, the Osmond brothers, I remember when they came, Wayne Newton, so many people has passed through his studio. And he knew how to make their sound perfect.
Yes. Aretha Franklin. They knew what to do with that voice.
You know, that was a natural talent of his. And I think it's great, and I think it's wonderful that he's written this book and
I do
letting us all
too.
share in his life. And
He deserves all the recognition
isn't that
he can
true?
get.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. So I'm just delighted to be here. So.
Oh,
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, I love Muscle Shoals. It's my home away from home, you know. So.
Well, it is, and they've got big things coming. You know, they're going to capitalize it. There's some investments of people coming in, and are going to make some big things here. So
Well, the
your mother
Music
might have
Hall
told
of
you.
Fame, when I grew up, was not here.
Yes. Well.
And when this was built, it's like
Oh.
all of a sudden, everything started growing and changing, and everybody was beautifying this area. And it's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's
and what a
beautiful.
heritage. And don't you glad you
Yes,
were part
I'm
of
part of the
it?
Quad Cities, yes. Even though I live in Iowa, my heart's in Alabama.
Hey, Christy, introduce us to your mother.
Yes, this is my mom, Geneva Ware, and she is the reason I'm here.
Okay.
I came, again, I've come from Iowa and to visit her. And she has always wanted to meet Rick Hall, and me too. And we were fortunate enough that he just happened to have this book signing
This
at the
was the
Alabama Music
day.
Hall of Fame. So
This was the day.
we had planned this a
Oh.
week ago, as soon as we found out.
Our children, our son and daughter-in-law, drove over from Marietta, Georgia. The same thing, to meet this man.
Yeah.
Oh, we were so excited. I know you were too.
And Mother, tell him when was the first time you ever heard Rick Hall's name?
Well, we lived here during the 70s,
Oh,
from
yeah.
69 to 79.
Christy said she grew up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And country music is just my thing, and his recording studio is just the ultimate for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big fan for
Yes.
many years.
Yes.
And she's watched his documentary how many times? I've lost count.
I've got it recorded, and every time I have company, I play that.
Well, wasn't it a great idea that they put a copy of the documentary in the back of the book?
Yes, really?
Yes, you didn't know you had
We
it?
got a bonus then. We got a
We
bonus.
certainly did.
Yes.
Isn't that
absolutely.
wonderful?
It is wonderful.
We bought a couple for gifts.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, this is great. I mean,
It
I love
is
this.
a
And I cannot
wonderful
think of a
idea.
more,
Appropriate place for
appropriate
it.
place.
Absolutely.
for this.
Perfect.
It doesn't age. I want
Uh-uh.
to know his secret, don't you?
Yeah, we'll go through the line again and ask him.
Maybe it's in the book. You think it's in the book?
Well, we know the music talent. He always said it was in the water. Do you believe that?
Well, then I need to
something.
take some home with me. I'm fixing to go find the nearest stream and take it home.
Osmonds and
Well, you went out to the airport one evening, my mom and my dad and my brother, just to watch airplanes for my little brother come in. That's what he did. He was little. And they saw Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton got off the plane and came over to the
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
Honey,
great.
he flew in a bright orange jet plane.
Nobody ever told us that. See, you didn't know it either, did you, Tracy?
It was at the Muscle Shoals Airport, and we just kept standing there, my husband and I, and my 2-year-old son, and they wouldn't get off. And they told us they had to check us out before they let him get off the plane. And we stayed there. Levon said, I'm not leaving. And we stayed there, and they checked us out, and he come out there and shook our hands over the fence.
Oh.
Now I thought that was so sweet.
That was a big deal. At the time, Wayne Newton
was
had
very
records
famous.
that were on the
big
radio.
name.
It wasn't.
Yes.
He wasn't in Las Vegas and all that.
Yeah,
This was
for the
before
shows.
Vegas. Daddy, don't you walk so fast? Remember
yes.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We got a lot of. There was a lot of beautiful songs that I remember. Teenage swim party. I didn't
And
want to
you
go to no
missed
airport
it?
to see a plane. Do you know that was not exciting to me? I was a teenager.
missed it.
And Mother got home. She's like, "You're not going to believe who we saw standing." And Wayne Newton came over and shook their. And if they'd have had cell phones back then, they could have got that.
They could have
picture.
called you right away, too. Yeah. So what about Wayne Newton? When was that?
So it was in
78.
1978 for sure.
All right.
And Wayne Newton, I remember they came on, you're not going to believe who came to the airport in Muscle Shoals, the little small Muscle Shoals airport.
Oh, and it's amazing. All the whole
And the
world came here.
Osmonds would come to Rick's house, and he'd keep them at his home. And we'd just drive by,
Just to get a glimpse.
Just to
And we
them
would
look
try
out
to
the
call, when I was a teenager, we would try to call Rick Hall's home. I mean, were we not something? Were we not something? Me and my
Typical
friends, I
teenagers.
still remember doing that. 'Cause
And
my
then they'd
best
hang
friend-
up. They'd hang.
Well, no, we wanted to know if the Osmonds were there. We loved Donny Osmond. I mean, it was like he was a big deal
that's
then.
right.
Oh,
That's
yeah, I had
right.
his poster above
The
my bed.
teeny boppers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we loved Donny Osmond, and so we thought he was there, and my friends were like, let's call Rick Hall. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's find his number. Let's find his number to see if the Osmonds are there this weekend.
Oh.
It was a big deal for us. So it's kind of been it's a good memory.
When I found and met Judy Hood, I sure knew who he was. She said he started it all. He started the magic.
He just had an ear. He knew
I
how
feel
to.
like God put him on earth. He's just,
It is amazing. And you know, he had so much tragedy. Sometimes I think, well, God made up to him for all
he had
of the
a guardian
tragedy
angel that just,
that helped
He
him
was
through all
talented.
this.
Some people, I think, are born with a gift, and we all have gifts. Yes. He just knew what was going to go.
He certainly did.
He knew what was going to go and what was not going to go.
Well, he just
Christy is going to have to come up here and do a recording. She's done several, not trying to be famous.
Oh, well, that's what you
I
just said. You did sing.
Yes.
Yes, I write music and I do a lot of things. Right now, I
My
am.
passion is local history, and
Yes,
so
Me too.
I wrote a book about my childhood hometown down in Walker County, Nauvoo, and memories of Nauvoo.
Charlie Rich. That was in the days of Charlie Rich. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good year. And
Yeah.
I think it's because of my age then. That's why it all was important. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, your music. That's why the book is so important. I can't wait to read those stories. You know.
She can write music just
Oh,
from
my
the
God.
hum of a song.
my
That's not
God.
necessarily true. I love to do it. I
Yeah.
call it, we musicians are all poets. We're poets.
Well, I was going to mention our theme song. Our daughter-in-law wrote it, and our son, she's playing keyboard, and our son is playing guitar.
Oh my! so
And
see,
they're not into music. They just play at night to relax. And
therapy.
she wrote
I
it.
call it my therapy.
They do.
And you can have
Yeah.
something on your mind, and if you were a songwriter and you write that down, then it kind of goes away. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a therapy. It's like if you write it down, it will help you deal with it. And I think a lot of people do that even now. You know, some people, I've always done that though. When I was a little kid, I would hum stuff and just make up my own thing, and you know, and it's fun.
No, I like it's a gift because I could never do that.
We trained our girls in music.
Oh,
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it. And it sounds like your daughter and son loved it too.
daughter-in-law, yeah, the son. Well, her father had a band, so.
Oh my goodness. So she grew up in that way.
Yeah, but after he married, you know, he decided he better get a real job. Oh, thank you so much. So good to meet you, Mrs. Ware.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Hey, don't make it bad. Take a sad song, make it bad. Just remember
All right. I have three, Mr. Rick Hall, and right here are, yes, I have the names for you.
Bless your heart.
The first one is Larry and Margaret Lee.
Okay.
I am Margaret Lee.
Thank you. Margaret Lee, L-double-E?
That's right.
Okay.
And this is Mr. Larry Lee videotaping you at this moment.
That's right.
I have a television program, Margaret Lee, Special People and Places. Now the next one, my husband has a twin brother, Terry, and this is to Terry and Helen Lee.
Okay. Terry. Helen.
Yes. They live in Cleveland, Tennessee,
Okay.
or they would have been happy to be here today. And we have a third book
Okay.
for Lanny,
Yes, ma'am.
Lany.
Nanny and Deb Cap.
Yes, that's right.
We just ran off and forgot his glasses.
Wonderful. We met
Thank you,
Judy.
darling.
We
Thank you
met
for
Judy
buying three
Hood.
books. That's-
We met Judy Hood last October. She is your #1 fan. You know that. You know that. And I just knew MuscleShoalsMusic, but I didn't even know the name Rick Hall. But after meeting Judy Hood, then you want to know more stories about Rick Hall,
Yeah,
because
she's got a lot of stories about Rick Hall.
she is something else.
Oh, she's
She
marvelous.
said, "You are the one that started the magic."
Well, I was.
So
19,
she just wants you to get all the recognition possible.
Well, bless her heart. She's a sweetheart, isn't
Oh, she is. Your #1 fan. You're up on a pedestal along with David Hood.
Yes, yes. Of course, David's her husband.
Right.
And, you know, to be up there with him is pretty tough.
Just stick that in your pocket if
Thank
you
you,
would.
darling.
Okay. Thank you so much.
He published the book.
Oh my goodness.
The publisher,
Sure.
Sherm Smith, Heritage Builders Publisher.
We really do
Oh,
Welcome.
oh my goodness.
If you can
Thank
read it, I
you.
wrote it.
Oh, okay.
You might not
She
be able
can
to
read
read
it,
it,
and
yeah.
we've got that. Well, let's get you on camera.
All right.
Sherman Smith. I am with Sherman Smith, and this man published the book.
I did. The Man from Muscle Shoals.
It is a beautiful publication.
Thank you.
I want to tell you, and the paper, top quality.
Thank you.
And who thought of that bonus, which we love, the documentary movie, right in the book.
Well, that was
actually my idea. So I wanted the book, and there were tons of publishers who want the book. So I had to come up with a hook that would get Mr. Hall on the line, and packing the movie documentary Muscle Shoals in the book to give a bonus to the book got me on the line.
All right. And, I mean, a fabulous idea.
And it's working.
Oh, we are so excited about this book. I know. Well, you were too, obviously.
Well, of course. I mean, I'm eating and breathing, and so I'm here every month. And
where's home for you?
Monterey, California.
Oh my!
Yeah, so I fly into Muscle Shoals and work with the Halls, and I've done another book here. I'm going to have some more. So we're just real excited about what's going on in this place. Yeah. So the Muscle Shoals, this book, the documentary ends in 1972. So it's Rick's eclectic career up until that area, and then from then on is the book, and it goes back into some of the early life, but then it will tell you the stories that you have questions about while you're watching the documentary. So then the book tells the rest of the story, and it's right up to Sherm Smith walking into Fame Studios.
Oh, wonderful!
So yeah, we're right up to date. So it's been exciting, and to work with Rick is awesome.
What a great project. We could not believe it. Now, I knew about the Muscle Shoals sound, but I didn't even know the name Rick Hall. We grew up out of state. Even though this is, born in Alabama.
Right.
But still, didn't know the name Rick Hall until I met Judy Hood. And once you meet Judy Hood...
She's incredible, isn't she?
She is. She's his #1 fan.
She is. There's no doubt about it.
Aside from her husband, David Hood, a swamper.
Yeah.
But after that, I just want to know more.
Of course, and the amazing thing is that I didn't know where Muscle Shoals and I heard of Fame, but I thought Fame was in Los Angeles or New York. I had no idea it was over here in Muscle Shoals. But here's the amazing thing that I'm finding out as I come in and out of here for the last 3 years, and that is that the people in the cities here, the Quad Cities, really don't understand that while the black people were in the mess they were back in the 60s, and the governor keeping the black kids out of the schools, and Aretha Franklin was marching on the bridge just like Arthur Alexander, and they were doing that, Percy Sledge, they were doing that while they were recording in the studio of a white man. And on top of that, the great part of this is that while that was all happening, Rick Hall was up here in this little corner of the world making superstars out of black people with white musicians.
Yes.
And so that to me that resonated, and I'm going, I grew up in the South in Kentucky, so I have to go do this book. I have to do this book. And so it's just been, our publicity teams are just salivating to get this, because outside of the area, northern Alabama and Nashville area, Rick Hall's not, no one knows that Rick Hall is behind all that. But it doesn't take 2 minutes anywhere talking about him.
Well, you know the music. You think,
goodness,
this man was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing, and how this book is taking off, and we're just happy as we can be.
Well, we're so glad you did it, Sherm, that this was a labor of love for you and a project that you just had to do. How long did it take?
Well, Rick took 10 years to write this book. When he first had the idea, the inclination, the drive, the resolve to do it. And he and Terry Pace, who's the co-writer with him, it took 10 years. And then after I received the manuscripts, then it was another almost 2 years getting the book into the shape where we could publish the book. And so it's been a labor of love. This is his legacy. And oddly enough, I was telling he and Linda Hall the other night at dinner, it's also mine. This book is going to be part of my legacy, of all the books that I published and the great books that I have been part of. This is going to be part of my legacy, and I'm just ecstatic to meet you guys and know everybody down here. And I love Muscle Shoals. I really do.
Well, it's a special place.
If Kathy Smith would move here, we'd be gone.
Well, we're looking forward to you coming, and we spend more time together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
You
bring
bet
your
you.
bride next time. Sure. When people that are not as fortunate as we were today to be here for the book signing in the Music Hall of Fame, how may people get this book?
They can get the book in any bookstore after April 7th, Amazon.com or HeritageBuilders.com in order to book there. And so it will be available everywhere. All right, and as a bonus, of course, the documentary, Muscle Shoals, award-winning documentary, #1 documentary 2013 of all documentaries, comes in the book. We put it in the book. So they get a bargain here to get this incredible story of Rick Hall's life and the music that shaped Muscle Shoals' sound, plus the documentary. So it's just going to be a great thing for everybody again.
It is, and I can't wait to read mine. Thank you so much, Sherman, for talking to us. It'll be out there.
On the internet. Yeah, when I wrote my first bestseller book, I've been interviewed by John Lennon. I've been interviewed by all of them.
No, I'm going to tell Margaret the truth. You are one of the best interviewers that I've ever had the privilege of being. You make somebody feel so comfortable, and you know what you're doing. You got your material there, and you know, so you know what you're talking about, and that makes it easy. I stutter. I'm really a stutterer. So
No, you aren't, but you know that is just amazing. Oh my gosh. No, this is just, with us, I just want to record history. I wrote a book about my childhood hometown.
Did you?
Yeah, 1990. And actually, I was a flight attendant after my son married. This is our son, Mike.
yeah, I just gathered.
Yeah. And I
This
started.
Mike looks like the family. Was it too hard to put together? Yeah,
I just don't want to let you go. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You're about to retire.
You're just.
No,
No, you're not
I'm
going
ever
to.
retiring.